Welcome to MSP Clarksville. My name is Brady McAtamney. This show is brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, where fans don't let fans drive drunk. Looking forward to bringing you another good show today. Thank you guys so much for a great debut last week. Looking forward to bringing you some great content as well today. And that's going to be starting with a great interview. One of my favorite coaches interview, one of the best teams in the mid-state so far this season. It is Dustin Wilson, head coach of the Clarksville Academy baseball team. The Cougars are 9-3 right now, ranked number, I believe, 4 in the TBCA D2A poll. Dustin, how you doing today, man?
Doing fine. How about you, Brady?
I am doing well. It's a nice day out. We hopefully can get your game in tomorrow against Friendship Christian. Looking like rain in the forecast, but you never know. We'll see what happens. So let's talk some Cougar baseball. What do you say? There's you guys had kind of a unique situation early in the season because the Cougar basketball team went so far into the season playing in that state semifinal game, and you got a handful of basketball players on the team, including reigning Mr. Baseball. We'll talk about him in a little bit here, but what's it like for a coach to have to kind of ease some of those players who are multi-sport athletes in at right at the beginning of the season?
You know, luckily this year we had a lot of depth, so it was a little bit easier. But it's difficult because baseball is one of those repetitious sports where you have to get your work in. You know, at bats, at the plate, it's hard to get the timing and everything down. And you know, DJ and Jock both are starters that were on the basketball team, and both of those guys are superb athletes. So they've done a good job with that. But you can still see a little bit of catch up still coming along, you know, but like I said, they're both good athletes and they're both competitive, and they're doing everything that they need to do to get ready for the postseason run.
Yeah, for sure. Of course, DJ and Jock both very important to that baseball team. I'm on right now with Dustin Smith, head coach of the Clarksville Academy baseball team. DJ is that reigning Mr. Baseball winner. He had a over 500 batting average last year. Around a 1 ERA, if I remember correctly. I know you guys have kind of had to ease him in a little bit because of that basketball season, but kind of give me like kind of a timeline of what we've seen with DJ so far this season and kind of how he's kind of building back to that full baseball playing shape.
You know, his numbers aren't as good. You know, it's hard to repeat hitting over 500 like you said earlier, but he's getting pitched a little bit differently. You know, everybody knows DJ Merriweather around the state now, so he's seen a lot more breaking balls, a lot more. They pitched around him a little bit, but the good thing is he's still staying positive and working hard. He's hitting around 380, which is still good, but you know, you can see some frustration in there every now and then. But we've had some guys step up and when they pitch around DJ, you know, we make it hurt with other guys. So it's actually been a good thing for some other players.
Yeah. So how does that benefit guys who are hitting around him when DJ is getting pitched around? Does it kind of, kind of open up opportunities for the guys who are kind of above him, below him in the lineup?
Yeah, you know, not only RBI opportunities because DJ's on base because they're pitching around them, but it also, you know, they're really attacking those guys with fastballs, trying to get ahead so they're not on base when DJ's up, so they're able to see some fastballs to be able to hit, you know, get better pitches to hit and just more opportunities. And then, of course, once DJ gets on base, he can run well enough for the guys behind him to be able to get in scoring position for them to knock DJ in as well. So,
absolutely. We're with Dustin Smith here, Clarksville Academy head baseball coach. You have some other college baseball commits on the team. Of course, Cooper Wallace, multi-sport athlete himself, just committed to play at Vol State, if I remember correctly. Jock White, who we mentioned, a Division I football player playing at SEMO. Who are some other guys that are on the team going to the next level to play, whether it's baseball or otherwise?
Yeah, so you go down our list of seniors. You know, you mentioned Cooper Wallace is committed to Vol State. He's actually leading our team in hitting right now at 465. Cole Smith, our third baseman, has signed with Union University down in Jackson, Tennessee. And then we go with, of course, DJ's committed to Austin Peay. Mm-hmm. Jack Cross, our left fielder, has committed to Freed-Hardeman University. Max Castle just actually committed yesterday to Vol State, so he'll be joining Cooper Wallace there. Another senior we have, a right-handed pitcher, Colin Rittenberry, has committed to Freed Hardeman University as well. And you mentioned Jock Wyatt. Everybody calls him Jack because he spells it J-A-C, but Jock is committed to Southeast Missouri to play football. So we have 7 guys. Our only senior that is uncommitted is Rudy Sly, who's actually the school valedictorian. So he's probably going to go somewhere academically as well. But he has a good shot to play somewhere just because he's such a good offensive player. So
that's pretty incredible, having basically a college team that you are fielding out there. Have you ever had a situation like that where almost every senior on your team is getting ready to play at the next level?
The only situations when we haven't had but maybe 1 or 2 seniors, and you can say every senior is going somewhere, but not 8. No, eight's different. 7 for sure going, and Rudy has an opportunity to go. Just depends on if he wants to go to an academic school or if he wants to go play baseball. So it's been a great thing. All the kids. I mean, if they're wanting to go play at the next level, that means they have that drive and that passion. It makes it a lot easier to coach because they're already driven. So for me, just kind of sit back and put them into situations to be successful and watch them go succeed.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to look at earlier in the season. You had a big milestone win earlier this season. You were awarded with your own personalized bat. Tell me a little bit about it and kind of what the award was.
Yeah, I've got my 300th victory. I don't know if that's a good thing or if it just means I'm old, but I've had a lot of good players. That's what I told everybody. 300 wins is fantastic for me, but just to think back of all the different players that have had, an impact on me as far as a coach. And then, of course, my assistant coaches that I've had in the past have all a big part of that. And it means a whole lot to me, just to be around the game that I've loved forever, and then, of course, meeting. I talked about the players, assistant coaches, but just other coaches that you compete against as well. I've got a lot of friends that I compete with and also, maybe play golf with in the off seasons and things of that nature. But baseball has been good to me, and hopefully we can continue to see if we can get some more.
I'd say you're young enough to get another 300 in there. I'm not so That's sure
right.
what you think, but I think I can butter you up. Say that about you.
There you go.
We're with Dustin Smith here, head baseball coach, Clarksville Academy. You guys have been in the TBCA rankings pretty much all season, right there in the top 5, currently at number 4, of course, behind teams like Good Pasture, who you've already seen and split the season series with. How much stock, if any, do you guys put into those rankings?
We look at them, it's I tell you, I look at them more for our opponents than I do for us, but it's always nice to be recognized. It gives the school some clout, I guess, for lack of a better word. But they don't mean anything until we prove that we are one of the best teams in the state. Record wise we have, but we tell our kids all the time we're playing for the tournament in May, and we're gonna continue to try to climb the rankings. But also our goal is to improve each and every day. We actually dropped from 3 to 4 this past week because we slipped up and lost one to Davidson Academy, who's a good ball club. But we like I said, we look at it, but we don't really put a lot of stock into it because it doesn't matter. We could be ranked, not even ranked, and still win a state championship. So that's our goal, is to win the state championship, and we'll see where we're at ranked after that. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely going to be the ultimate goal here. You mentioned getting recognition. I was talking with Coach Brian Hetland on Tuesday after they finished their series against Rossview. Of course, 2 teams who are also highly ranked and getting some recognition. And unprompted, he just kind of started talking about themselves being a great team and lumped you guys in there with as being great teams in the city as well. Of course, I had to share that on social media. I know that you guys saw it. A lot of people saw that. I'm just curious what you thought of kind of that sentiment that Brian had about just having 3 great teams in the city right here.
Yeah, myself, Coach Hetland, Coach Parker Coach Holman at Rossview talked quite a bit, just since we all 3 hosted during the Donnie Everett tournament, so we talked a lot during that time. As baseball coaches, we like to pick each other's brains, and then we also talk about some teams that we may have some common opponents with, so we can kind of get an idea of some things. But it's been really fun, just to follow the city. There's some young guys over at Clarksville how that'll get some things done, and then of course Rossview's got the deep pitching staff over there, and it's just anytime the city is known for baseball, right now, they're all 3 teams ranked in the state. It just brings a light to Clarksville to let people know that we've got good talent here. And of course, the other schools that aren't ranked also have some good players as well, and they're going to go to play some college ball and do some things as well. So we just want Clarksville to stay on the map for baseball and people to know that when they come here, they're going to have a good opponent and we're going to have to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 ranked teams at the moment, teams who figure to be battling for both a state berth and state championship in Clarksville High, Rossview, and Clarksville Academy. Of course, your Cougars currently 19-3. Looking at the district race, you guys, we mentioned Good Pasture, who is currently ahead of you in those rankings. Split the season series 1-1. You guys got a thrilling win in. I don't remember if it was extra innings, but I know you guys definitely had to push the final innings back because you guys ran out of daylight there. So I know that was probably very exciting for you guys. Tell me about that district race with Good Pasture. Kind of what you've seen from them, what makes them a threat, and kind of what we can expect to see as you guys look forward to possibly meeting them again.
Yeah, Good Pasture's the defending state champion, so they've got the target on their back coming in. They returned quite a few of their players that they're a team that can match us with kids going to college. Now they've got a lot of seniors and commits. I don't have the exact numbers, but I know it's either the same as us or maybe even more. And they're defending state champions, so they've kind of had that postseason experience that we have a little bit, but we got to the final 8, but of course they won the whole thing. So it's going to be fun to continue to compete with them. They're going to end up being the 1 seed because of our slip up against Davidson Academy. So we'll have to be the 2 seed. So we'll be in the opposite bracket. So the next time we would see those guys would be in the district championship. So hopefully, if we can take care of business and they take care of business, we'll see them again. And like you said earlier, that game was actually in extra innings, but we got through 7 tied, and then it was too dark, so we had to, because Good Pasture doesn't have lights, we had to flip it over to our place the next night when we played and finish it up in the 8th, and then ended up winning that game. And then I feel like that our guys were excited about winning that one and didn't show up for the second one, so we didn't really compete very well in the second game, but we'd love to have another shot at them again. I mean, you want to beat the teams that are the best, and right now they're the defending state champions, so we'd like to go through them.
Without a doubt. I know it's probably pretty fun for you guys to kind of have that chase with a very, very clear target with, the defending state champions, a rival in pretty much every sport for you guys with Good Pasture, both being the Cougars, both wearing blue. That can always cause some chaos and some fun, I know. Along with Good Pasture in the district, who are some teams in the region, in kind of that middle region, that are teams that you guys are kind of wary of?
Well, the middle region is the top 4. Number 1's Good Pasture, number 2 is Grace Christian Franklin, who's in the region, and number 3 was Columbia Academy, who's also in the region. And of course, we were number 4. And then, also in our district, Friendship is climbing the ladder in the state rankings, and Davidson Academy has been in and out all year long. So there's quite a few teams in that district / region that we'll have to compete with. So it's not a cakewalk. It's not easy to get out. But that's the good thing, because whoever gets out of the region is going to be battle tested and ready for a state run.
Without a doubt. You know what they say, to be the best, you got to beat the best. And this region, this district is definitely a pretty good example of that, I would say. So Dustin Smith, Clarksville Academy baseball head coach, thank you so much for coming on and joining me today. I really appreciate it. We'll hope you guys can get that game in against Friendship Christian tomorrow. If so, I do plan on being there. So little content spoiler for you guys there. Definitely looking forward to it. And you have a great rest of your day. Let's do an anti-rain dance and look forward to hopefully playing ball tomorrow.
That's right. That's the plan. I look at the forecast a little bit. They've kind of pushed it back a little bit, but it still looks like there's going to be some rain. But I'd look forward to seeing you out there in your Detroit Tigers hat, and maybe we can start getting the Detroit Tigers play a little bit better, right?
You betcha. That's right. Dustin Smith, also former Detroit Tigers draft pick, for those who didn't know. That's right. That'll be a talk for another day, though. Cool stuff. Dustin, appreciate you, man. Have a good rest of your day.
Yep. Thank you for having me. Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So that was Dustin Smith, Clarksville Academy baseball coach. The Cougars are 19-3 right now, having themselves a heck of a season. We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to get into our players of the week and game of the week, along with maybe a little bit of chat and see what we can fit in there with these remaining 15, 14 or so minutes. Talk to you in a few.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd, the goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Experience Predators hockey all season long. Visit NashvillePredators.com/season tickets and join the Loyal Legion today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets, and we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
I'm so excited about this new show.
Dino Trek is back again this year. It's bigger than we've ever had it before.
When they're about 5 months old, we'll start seeing them sticking their head out of the pouch, or you might see a foot come out or a tail.
It's like an Airbnb for Joey's. Now, you're not going to see all three of them together because cats in general don't get along unless it's time to get along, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lions and tigers and bears.
Oh,
yeah.
my.
Well, we're 2/3 of the way there. Animals, nature, and fun. That's what we're all about. But during that time, we hope that you also learn something, that you're inspired to want to learn something.
What's new at the zoo with Jim Bar 2?
It's just a few cocktails at happy hour. It's just a few cocktails at happy hour.
You really good try. There aren't any cops around.
Didn't think there were any cops around.
I drink and drive all the time.
Sir, you've been in a serious crash. I need you to hang on, okay?
This is Chris Yao with Main Street Sports Today. Every show, Mo Patton and I welcome friends from all across the sports landscape, from high school coaches and reporters to national, college, and pro sports personalities. You never know who might stop by for a chat. AP Tennessee Sports Editor, three-time Tennessee Sports Writer of the Year 2020 TSWA Hall of Famer. She covers the Titans, the Predators, the Grizzlies, college football, and hoops. Please make welcome Teresa Walker.
Former University of Tennessee, former Team USA Olympian, ex-Cy Young Award winner, R.A. Dickey. R.A., did I miss anything?
Man, that was sweet. Yeah, I need to listen to that before I go to bed every night. That was nice.
Has 5 sports Emmys. That's not bad for the other guy in Wham, Ryan McGee.
The other guy in Wham married the best looking girl Bananarama, so the other guy in Wham had a pretty good life.
From preps to pros, we're taking on the sports topics you care about. Tune in across Main Street Media social platforms at 2 p.m. or on demand on your podcast distribution platform of choice.
Welcome back to MSP Clarksville. My name is Brady McAtamney. We had a great talk earlier with Dustin Smith, head coach at Clarksville Academy, that baseball team, going on a pretty nice run this season. But it's time to kind of get into our look around the city, the county, if you will. Let's talk about some players of the week for each of the 3 team sports as we get into the kind of the thick of the season here. We got only a couple weeks left before we get into tournament time. So let's look at some players of the week. For baseball, I'm looking at Kenan Rice. I wrote a story about him and his team win on Monday. The Rossview baseball team beating Clarksville High 3-1. Kenan Rice was a huge part of that. He threw all 7 innings, no earned runs. The only run Clarksville High got reached via an error, and then a couple pass balls kind of got that runner around and he scored, but no harm, no foul, no earned runs. It ended up not costing them anything in that game. He only allowed 2 hits struck out 9 batters. And that's especially impressive when you consider how good Clarksville High has been this year. They entered that game 22-2 overall, which pretty impressive if you ask me. 6 hitters in their lineup hitting, reaching base with an on-base percentage of 500 or higher. So you take that into consideration. Pretty overall impressive performance by Cannon Rice. He is a Austin P baseball commit, actually head coach at Austin P baseball. Roland Fanning was there to watch Cannon play. So pretty cool stuff. I'm glad that he was able to kind of go out there and show out in front of his future head coach. And then Clarksville High, of course, came back and got the win the next day. So those two teams split the series. So fun stuff overall. Really impressive stuff. Looking at softball, I'm looking at Peyton Harris for Montgomery Central High. She also had a great pitching performance against a really good ball club. She went 7 innings, 0 earned runs, 6 strikeouts against first place Creekwood. Really one of those top teams in that district, really in all of 3A, alongside with Greenbrier, who the Indians will be playing next week. But we're going to talk about that in a second. Harris, that 0 earned runs against Creekwood, highly impressive because that's a team that can score the ball. They pitch the ball really well, and the Lady Indians were able to come out there, get a huge win, really keep them kind of in that hunt for a potential district championship in the regular season, if not getting maybe a top 2 seed in the district tournament, and maybe have some home games there. So Peyton Harris, Montgomery Central, our player of the week for softball. Looking over at soccer, we're looking at the Northwest Vikings. Danye Hutchinson for Northwest. He had 3 goals against Kenwood, outscoring the Knights by himself. The next game, 2 goals against Creekwood. Cheatham County, not Creekwood, had 2 goals against Cheatham County, 3 goals against Kenwood, outscored both of those teams by himself. So 5 goals in 2 games, outscoring both of his opponents. I'd say that's pretty impressive stuff for Hutchinson, the Northwest Viking. The Vikings looking to compete there in their district, hopefully contend in that region. However, the other district, pretty tough, so we will see what happens. Exciting stuff as the soccer season kind of comes to a head here, getting ready for that district tournament. The district tournaments on both sides, really, in 13-4A and or District 13-3A and District 14-3A. A lot of numbers involved here as the city is split into 2 districts. As you can tell, it can get a little bit confusing to keep track of overall. However, games of the week, there are some fun ones. For baseball, not really any big games between teams in the city, but one I'm really looking forward to seeing how it works out. The Beach Buccaneers are coming to Clarksville to take on Clarksville High. Beach not ranked in the TBCA poll, whereas Clarksville, of course, was number 2 in the last one. They may drop after losing 1 of 2 games to Rossview, but of course Rossview themselves are a ranked team, so we could see them jump up a little bit. Clarksville High maybe drop down a little bit. We could see but kind of both of them kind of in the middle of that top 10. Looking forward to seeing how that works out. But Beach is coming to play Clarksville, and I think that's going to be a good kind of measuring stick game for the Wildcats as they play another pretty good team from the mid-state. Beach, I don't have their exact record, but Max Preps had them around, I believe, 16-4, so pretty good record overall. Of course, those Sumner County teams are always going to be able to hit the ball well, pitch well. That's actually a rematch from a couple years ago. Those 2 teams met in the region tournament, where Chase Burns for Beach, of course, now a Tennessee Vol and MLB draft prospect, came in and pitched a heck of a game against the Wildcats. So that's one that I always remember when I see Beach and Clarksville matching up. But that's going to be my game of the week. That one's on Monday at Clarksville High. On softball, I already mentioned Montgomery Central. They're going to have another one that I'm really looking forward to. They're going to be at Greenbrier, taking on the Lady Bobcats. Greenbrier has 1 loss in the district to Creekwood. Montgomery Central has 2. So you do some quick math. If Montgomery Central can win that game, that puts them right in the mix for a district championship alongside Greenbrier and Creekwood, who, of course, I just mentioned, they beat last week. So really exciting. That's going to be a huge game to really determine how the regular season plays out for Montgomery Central here. They've done a great job of keeping themselves right in the thick of things, and it's been impressive. Of course, Peyton Harris has been a huge part of that. Coach Chris Jackson has been excellent overall for the Lady Indians. Of course, you see there Greenbrier, 21 wins this season. They've just been phenomenal. So that's going to be a really, really tough matchup, especially because they go to Greenbrier. And Greenbrier actually ruled them earlier this season. So that's a heck of a softball team, and they've definitely got their work cut out for them. But we're going to see what happens. And on the soccer field, Clarksville High versus Rossview. That district has been just an absolute slugfest this year. Both of those teams have multiple, I guess, not wins, if you want to say that. Clarksville High is 6-1-2, Rossview 10-2. Clarksville has their only losses to Brentwood, who is like a nationally ranked soccer team. So no shame in that. They're both playing for the district championship this year. Of course, Rossview, the defending district and region champions. They have a loss to Northeast. Clarksville has a loss to West Creek. West Creek has losses to Rossview and Northeast. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff out here. Really, really looking forward to seeing how that one turns out. I feel like I've said that about every game, but hey, if I didn't look forward to it, why would it be game of the week, right, guys? Anyway, that one's going to determine a lot as we round out into really kind of the last 2 weeks, or rather last week and a half ish of the district season. And of course, it's Clarksville and Rossview. It's always the rivalry. That one's on Tuesday, April 26th. I plan on being there at that one. Or rather, April 25th. The 26th is Wednesday. I plan on being there, having coverage from that one, weather pending, of course. And then kind of a wild card. I'm adding this kind of wild card spot to, maybe choose one that might have slipped through the cracks for one of the other ones. Maybe one game beat it out. However, I'm not looking at baseball, softball, or soccer on this one. How about that? The flag football playoffs start on Monday, the 24th. The first ever flag football playoffs in Clarksville, Montgomery County. Flag football has taken off like a rocket here in the county, in the city. Of course, every public school in the area has a team. They've been playing games every week, having some practices. They've just been having so much fun. I went to a game earlier this season, and it was just a blast between Clarksville High and West Creek. So definitely looking forward to those flag football playoffs. The championship is going to be on Thursday, the 27th. So I'll have a chance to talk about that on next week's show. So I really can't wait for that. That's going to be just an absolute blast. That's on Monday. We'll have more information on that, how you can come watch it, some times, some matchups. It'd be really cool to see some people showing up and supporting these ladies because they're having a lot of fun with it. But that is going to be how we kind of wrap up the show here. We are we've got about a minute and a half left, but I've said my piece, guys. I don't want to stall and take up these last minute and a half of your time. So go ahead, check me out on Twitter at Brady_MSP. Of course, Main Street Preps on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you next week.